Good afternoon, dear students. I hope you are doing good. Today we will continue with Principles of Management, Part 2 of our first chapter. So the table of content, what we are going to cover in this chapter is organization, mission, vision, and goals. Organization's management functions, which are planning, organizing, directing, and controlling. Also centralization and decentralization. Then interpersonal skills, leadership styles, management theory, code of conduct, business ethics, and business etiquette. So what is organization mission? A mission is a statement should answer 3 key questions. So if you open websites of big companies and enterprises, you might see in their homepage a mission is written, a vision is written, goals are written, or maybe on the About Us page, you can see mission, vision, and goals of that particular enterprise. So a mission statement should answer 3 key questions, which are what we do, for whom we do it, what is the benefit. So in the statement of mission, which is usually 1 sentence, you need to answer 3 questions. What we do as that company, and for whom do we do it, for who we are working, who are our targets, and what is the benefit of doing what we are doing. So these 3 questions need to be answered in 1 sentence, which is called a mission statement. A mission can be a statement that explains who we are, the type of the organization, it's a product organization or a service, and needs we fill. Also statements that explain our direction, our purpose, our reason for being. So what are the difference do we make? Each organization needs to make a difference. So in that particular statement, you need to show your difference that differentiates you from the other companies. And statements that explain what make us unique describes our values and our people and combination of products and services. So mission can be one of these, or a mixture of what we mentioned, a type of the organization, the differences we make, and the values that we have. All about vision. A vision is a statement that describes how the future will look if the organization achieves its mission. So from the picture you can see a man looks into future. So through vision we want to see the future and we want to shape the future the way we want. So a vision statement describes the future, how it will look like if the organization achieves its mission and its goals. So vision statement identifies where the organization intends to be in the future or where it should be to best meet the needs of the stakeholders. So in the mission, we tell people what we do. In the vision, we tell people where we want to be in the future in order to satisfy and meet the needs of our all stakeholders. Difference between mission and vision. So what is the difference between mission statement and a vision statement? A mission statement is what an organization is all about, but a vision statement is what the organization wants to become. So it's about the future. A mission is about now, a present, and vision is about future. Then we move to organization goals. It provides more specific direction on what the organization must do to achieve its vision and mission. Interim steps toward achieving the vision and mission. As interim steps, objectives are long-term and short-term. So goals are those directions that we create in order to achieve the mission and vision. So goals can be divided into small steps, which called objectives. They can be long-term and short-term. Also, goals has characteristics, which is called SMART goals. So each one of you can create a goal for yourself or for your business through using SMART goals. So the S stands for specific, M stands for measurable, A stands for achievable, R stands for realistic, and T stands for timely. So in S, specific, we ask a question in order to answer the goals. So we say, what do you want to do? Then you write it down. So this is the S. For the measurable, you ask, how will you know when you have achieved it or reached it? Then you need to measure your goals. Your goals need to be measurable in order to be known when and where they will be achieved or reached. Then achievable, is it in your power to accomplish it? Do you really can accomplish those goals? Are you able to accomplish it or not? So it should be what? It should be realistic. So we move to the R, and you ask yourself, can you realistically achieve it, or is imaginary, or it's too big, or it's not in your abilities to achieve it? So you need to be realistic when you write down your goals. And the timely is when exactly do you want to accomplish it? So you need to have a starting point and an ending point, because goals without a starting time and an ending time, they are just like dreams. They cannot be achieved. So you need to have the starting point and an end point in order to be able to achieve your goals. So specific, precisely what needs to be achieved, measurable, at least one indicator that measures progress towards fulfilling objective. And appropriate or achievable, they both can be right, consistent with the vision and mission statement. So you need to make sure you are going with the same direction that your mission and vision tells you. Then realistic must be achievable and realistic. And also the last one is time-based, must have a deadline for achieving the objective. Then in this chart, we can divide the mission, vision, goals, and objectives like this. So the chart of organization, vision, mission, and objectives can be like this. As we see on the top, we have vision and mission, which usually sets and created by the top management. Then we have goals, which is in the middle management. Then goals can be broken down into small steps, which call objectives, and can be done and implemented by the lowest level of management. So organizational structure, if we convert this mission, vision, goals, and objectives to the organizational culture, we see this chart. At the top, we have the CEO, which is the top management. Then we have managers. Here is just an example. We wrote manager, the production manager, the marketing manager. Then you have HR manager, IT manager, finance and accounting manager, and so on, depending on the type and the size of the organization, which they are called the middle management. Then under them, you have the officers or supervisors who supervise the small teams who are workers and employees. Yesterday, we talked about organization management functions and briefly. Today, we will talk about each function independently. So every organization has management and must go through some basic steps to operate their mission and accomplish their goals, which is called the functions of the management. Those functions can be the following diagram. Planning, as we said, should be the first one, then organizing, then in sequence directing, and the last one is controlling. After controlling, we receive what? We receive feedback. So we use that feedback in order to enhance our plan, improve it, make it better, change things, remove things that is unwanted, and so on. So let's start with planning. What is planning? Planning is describing what objectives to accomplish. So in planning, we write down what we want to accomplish and the actions that we need to take in order to achieve those goals and objectives. The organizational position assigned to do them and what would be responsible for the actions. Usually, planning first is created by the top management, which are long-term plan. Then after long-term plan, it will be broken down into smaller steps that middle managers will participate in. Then it will be break down to short-term plans that is given to the employees on the lower level of management, and they will initiate in it and start to implement it or work on it in order to achieve it. We have three types of plan, which are strategic plans, tactical plans, operational plans. These three types of plans have been made according to the management level. Strategic plans is created and belongs to the top management. Tactical plans is created and belongs to middle level of management. And operational plans are implemented and created by the lower level of management. So strategic plans involve analyzing competitive opportunities and threats, as well as the strengths and weaknesses, which is called SWOT analysis, which we have discussed in the previous class of the organization, and determining how to position the organization to compete effectively in their environment. So top management is responsible for writing down, creating strategic plans. Then we move to the middle level of management, which is tactical plans, creates the blueprint for the larger strategic plan. These plans are often short-term and are carried out by middle-level managers. So it's the tactical plans. Then we move to the lower level of management, which is operational plans. They cover the entire organization goals and objectives and put into practice the ways and action steps to achieve the strategic plans. So the action steps is done by operational plans, done by lower level management. So they are usually very short-term plans, usually less than a year, from 1 day to a year. Then types of plan based on management level: strategy, which are the policies of the organization made by top management; tactical, which are the procedures who will be identified by the middle level of management; and operational are the execution of the short-term plans, which is done by the lower level of management. So steps in planning: first, being aware of opportunities. Then you have to establish objectives based on the opportunities and goals that you have. Third step is determining alternative courses of action, what to do, what our actions should be. Then the next step is evaluating the alternative courses of action, evaluating how our plans can be achieved. Are they realistic? Then we go back to the SMART goals. Are they achievable? Are they timely? Are measurable? So we ask ourselves those questions in order to establish and form a very specific and suitable plan. Then number 5 is selecting a course of action. We choose the best option that we have. And the last step is numbering plans by budgeting. So we always should be aware of our budget and plan according to our budget. Plans sometimes fail. Of course, we know that plans sometimes fail. It's not necessary to always have successful plans. But why they fail? Of course, there are reasons. Okay, there are a lot of reasons. We mentioned some of them here. It can be lack of commitment to the planning. Maybe the staff is not committed to achieve the plan properly. The confusion of planning studies with plan. Maybe there's a confusion in the plan. It's not clear. Maybe there is failure to develop and implement sound strategies. Maybe there's failure to implement the strategies. The strategies are not easy to be implemented, or they are not realistic to be implemented, or the environment is very competitive and very dynamic. Another reason is lack of meaningful objectives and goals. Maybe our goals are not based on SMART goals. That's why they are not easy to be implemented or achieved. Another point is failure to see planning as a rational process. And number 6 is lack of top right support. Maybe there is no support from the top management to the other levels of management. And maybe it's a lack of clear delegation. Maybe delegation meaning that giving a task to the others or distributing the task among the team. Maybe there is no clear distribution, identification of the tasks. That's why the employees are not aware of, or maybe they are not fully clear with what they should do and when and how they should do it. So plan sometimes fail because of these reasons, and of course there are a lot of other reasons depending on different organizations, different environment. It changed. The second function of management is organizing. So organizing is the process of creating a structure for the organization that will enable the various players to work together effectively toward its objective. So after we plan, then we organize our team. We create a structure, as you see in this photo, there's a structure. So you divide your staff among the structure that you have created in order to tell each team, each individual what they should do, what are their tasks, responsibility, and of course, what are their rights at the same time. Why we do this? In order to achieve goals throughout structured and organized staff in order everyone in their department know exactly what they should do and what they should not do. So what are the basic principles of organizing? Division of work and specialization. So you divide the work and specialize, divide the work among the specialized individuals and teams. Then departmentation, you need to create different departments. Each group of individuals or employees should be in a department based on their specialization, experience, and their background. Then coordination, that means help among the teams and among the departments. Then chain of command and unity of command, how the organization wants to implement the chain of command, what type of organization are they? Are they classical organizations? Are they modern and flat organizations? So this should be clear among the staff because they need to know to whom they will report. And span of control as well. So you need to know how the controlling will take place. After that, we move to the third function of management, which is directing. Directing is that part of managerial function which actuates the organizational methods to work. So we actualize what we have planned and organized for, meaning that we implement it. Now the action takes place. So why we do this? In order to work efficiently for achieving the organizational purposes and goals. So direction is that interpersonal aspect of management which deals directly with influencing, guiding, supervising, motivating the subordinates. What do we mean by subordinate? Meaning the team players, meaning the employees, meaning the individuals or coworkers. So in direction, you as a manager, as a supervisor, you direct your team, you direct your employees and guide them and tell them how to do things, what they should do, how to implement it, what they need, how you support them, how you motivate them, how you influence them. Why? Why we do this? In order to make sure that we achieve organizational goals and we are on the right direction. So direction has elements. What are the elements of direction? They are supervision. As a manager, you need to supervise your team. They are motivation. As a manager, you need to motivate your staff. They are communication. There should be communication among the team and among the management, among the departments. So communication are everywhere in the organization, from top to bottom, from left to right, among all the departments. And of course, leadership. Another element of directing is leading. So you need to lead your staff, tell them where to go. Now, the last function of management is controlling. Controlling is an important function performed by supervisor. So again, the supervisor is responsible, or the manager is responsible to control their staff. So controlling as a management function involves the following steps. First one is establishment of standards. Second is measurement of performance. So first you need to establish some standards and tell your staff based on which standards they work. Why we do this? In order to be able how to measure their performance. If we don't have standards, we don't know how to measure the performance of our team. So first we establish the standards. After we do that, we can measure their performance. After we measure the performance, we will make a comparison between the standards and the actual performance. So we will make a comparison between what we have told the staff to do and what they really did. So after we do the comparison and get results, we take corrective actions. So corrective actions might change from a case to another, from a department to another, from an employee to another, from a task to another. So if I ask you a question and tell you when should controlling can be done, where it should be done, is it during the working process, during the process and procedures, or it's the end of the procedures? Who can answer this question? Take a moment and think. All right. So I can tell you controlling can be from step 1 to step 100, or to the last step. Controlling can be every time and anywhere. Why? Because sometimes we want to prevent mistakes, or we want to prevent wrong results. So controlling is not only at the end of the procedures or at the end of the operations. Controlling can be from the beginning and during each procedure and during the actions that will be taken. So controlling sometimes is not just to see the results, sometimes is to prevent mistakes. So what are the characteristics of controlling? Controlling is an end function. Controlling is a pervasive function. Controlling is forward-looking. So we mean by this one, we want to look forward. So either it's, as we mentioned, if it's during the process, we look forward to make sure not to make mistakes or maybe not to move from the right path. And also we want to see the future and make the plans better. And also sometimes during controlling, we might realize that there were gaps in the plan and the organizing, so we will understand how to change things in the future. Controlling is a dynamic process, and controlling is related with planning, because after controlling, we receive feedback. We use those feedback in order to enhance our planning process. So now we move to a very important part, which is called organizational process. Each organization, each department, each level of management will go to a process, which is called organizational process. First, we have input, that what we input and what we want to do. Then we take action, which is the process of doing the tasks. Then after finishing what we are assigned to, we have output, which is the result. Then we have, when we receive the output, when we receive the results, we understand how it is. So we get feedback. And again, we use that feedback in order to enhance our input, either to change things, to remove things, to add new things, depends on our output and feedback. So it's a continuous process in all organizations, and it continues all the time. There is no point of stopping, and it should be in the same sequence and direction. Now we move to centralization and decentralization. Of course, there are companies who are following the centralization system or method, and there are others who are decentralized. Also, there are governments as well, not only companies. But here we're talking about organizations. Centralization and decentralization refer to the distribution of decision-making authority and control within an organization. These concepts play a crucial role in shaping the structure of an organization and influencing how decisions are made at different levels. So centralized organization, usually the authority of making decisions comes from the top to down. But in decentralized organization, departments in the middle management has been authorized to make their own decisions. So centralization refers to the concentration of decision-making authority at the top levels of an organization's hierarchy. In a centralized structure, key decisions are made by a small group of top executives or a single individual at the top of the organization pyramid. So what we mean by this, at the top of the management, a single individual, CEO, executive managers are responsible to make decisions, and they give it to the whole organization, or they announce it, or they top it down to the organization. So things are centralized where in the top of the management. This is the opposite of decentralization, which we will move to shortly. Now let's see what are the characteristics of centralization. First, decision-making authority. Decision-making authority is retained by the top management. Then quick decision-making. Decisions can be made more quickly as there are fewer levels of approval. Then consistency ensures consistent implementation of policies and procedures. Then top-down communication. Communication flows predominantly from top to bottom. What are the advantages and disadvantages of this method? Advantages are clean chain of command, clearly defines the line of authority and responsibility. So you know to whom you will report and from whom you receive commands. Then uniform policies ensure the consistency in policies and procedures. So there will be uniform policies and procedures for all the departments of the organization, since policies come from the top to the bottom. Then quick decision making, faster decision making due to a streamlined process. So one person makes decision for all, so it's faster. But also we have some disadvantages, which are lack of flexibility. Of course, all the departments, employees, line managers need to be aware of the top decisions, and they should apply it exactly how it is. So it's limited flexibility and adaptability to local conditions. So there are not much a chance or opportunity to work in a different way from the decisions that has been made or from the procedures that has been defined. Then we have overburdened top management that overloads top executive with decision-making responsibilities. So sometimes there are things that are very small and minor, but since the system is centralized, top management need to make decisions, so it makes them get overloaded and overburdened. And reduced employee initiative may lead to lack of employee involvement and initiative, and this sometimes demotivates the employees because they want to take part of the decision-making process, but in such case, they cannot. They need to only obey the decisions. All about decentralization. It involves the distribution of decision-making authority across different levels of organization. In a decentralized structure, decision-making power is delegated to lower levels of management or various departments and units. So it gives power to the other levels of management, other units and departments. So what are the characteristics of decentralization? Decision-making authority, which is dispersed across various organizational levels. So line managers has authority to make decisions, supervisors has authority to make decisions, even in small daily actions, lower level employees also has authority to make decisions. Another characteristic is local autonomy. Local units have more autonomy in decision making, of course, because they are more free. They have more autonomy and freedom. And faster response to local issues allows faster responses to local issues and changes. Why? Because not everything needs to go back to the top management, then being discussed there, then come back to the lower management in a chain of command through line managers. No, local units, they respond to their local issues fast and they give solutions fast. So it gains time and prevents waste of time. Another characteristic is bottom-up communication, encourage communication from bottom to top. So all levels of management can communicate more properly and more often and being aware of each other's issues, challenges, and opportunities. And of course, each system has advantages and disadvantages. For decentralization, the advantages are local initiative, encourage local initiative, meaning that the locals, the employees, they are encouraged to participate and give ideas, share ideas, being a part of the decision-making process, and they can innovate. So they might be very creative, they can be very innovative in such cases because they are being listened to. Then reduced workload on top management. So distributes decision-making among the departments and individuals in the organization. So it reduces the workload and the overload on the top management. Also, faster response enables quicker responses to local market conditions or maybe to daily issues. Also, there are disadvantages such as inconsistency. This may lead to inconsistent in policy and procedures. A department might work in a different way than another department, so there is not a unified policy for all departments. Also, potential conflict, possibility of conflicting decisions among different units because they might have different visions of achieving their small goals or daily objectives, or they might work in a way that might not be aligned with another unit's method of doing things. So sometimes there are possibility of conflict among the departments. Training and coordination requires effective training and coordination to ensure alignment with the organizational goals. So each department, each employee need to be trained well in order to know how to do things and make right decisions, as well as they need to have a very well coordination among each other in order to make clearer decisions, stronger decisions, and achieve the unified goals. Also, we have another type, which is the third type, which is called hybrid or mixed structure. So many organizations adopt to hybrid or mixed structures that incorporate elements of both centralization and decentralization. This allows them to benefit from the advantages of both approaches while mitigating their respective disadvantages. In such cases, critical strategic decisions may be centralized, while operational decisions are decentralized. So the choice between centralization and decentralization depends on factors such as organization size, industry, culture, strategic goals. Based on these factors, we decide how to choose between centralization and decentralization or using the mixed structure. So organizations may also revisit their decision-making structure in response to change in the external environment or internal dynamics. So it's not necessarily one organization always stick to one type or style of decision-making structure. They might change their system, they might change the decision-making structure, or they can use the mixed structure for making better decisions among different levels or different departments and levels of the organization. Now we move to another topic, which is interpersonal skills. I believe you are familiar with the interpersonal skills as you have took communication and etiquette course before. So I'm going to explain it briefly. Interpersonal skills are the abilities individuals use to interact effectively and harmoniously with others in various social and professional situations. These skills are crucial for building and maintaining relationships, communicating effectively, and navigating social interactions. Interpersonal skills are too many, such as teamwork, leadership, patience, responsibility, motivation, empathy, dependability, flexibility, and active listening. Also, they can be decision-making skills, self-awareness, conflict resolution, emotional intelligence, questioning, communication skill itself, relationship management, problem-solving skills, teamwork, and staying positive. So there are a lot of interpersonal skills that are very important for individuals to learn and improve in themselves in order to be active and positive individuals in the society and in the work environment. So having strong interpersonal skills will help you to increase your chances of landing your dream job. It helps you to build lasting relationships in your workplace. It emphasizes with your workmates, customers, and partners as well, and it motivates those within your team. Also, it contributes to your team's productivity, morale, and overall success, and drive collaboration, unity, and teamwork, and get more career growth opportunities, and also it thrives both in your personal and professional life. So there are many importance of interpersonal skills, and it helps you in many directions and places in your life. Now we move to leadership style. Leadership style refers to the different approach that leaders use to guide and influence their teams or organizations. There are a lot of styles, such as autocratic leadership style. We start with autocratic leadership. In this style, the leader makes decisions without input from others. That means they're making decisions solely and maintains tight control over the team. So they're controlling the whole team very tightly and strictly. This style can be efficient in certain situations, but may stifle creativity and motivation, meaning that they might kill creativity and motivation. All about democratic leadership style, which is very different from autocratic leadership style, is also known as participative leadership style, meaning that the staff, the teams are participating in the decision-making process. So this style involves involving team members in the decision-making process. It encourages collaboration, creativity, and a sense of ownership among the team members. So it makes the team feels that they are part of the process, feels that they are the partners of the company, and they become more motivated and loyal. Then we have transformational leadership. Transformational leaders inspire and motivate their teams by setting a compelling vision, providing support and encouragement, and fostering personal growth and development. So those leaders, they inspire their teams in order to change themselves, in order to make themselves better, in order to achieve the organization's goals and objectives. So the leaders, they provide support and encouragement to their staff. Another type of leadership is transactional leadership style. Transactional leaders focus on what? Focus on task completion. They usually want the tasks to be completed and use rewards and punishment to motivate their team members. So if they do something good, they reward them. If they do mistakes, they punish them. They emphasize clear expectations, accountability, and adherence to the rules and procedures. So they are a bit more strict than transformational leaders. They usually want results, and they are giving clear instructions and rules. So they are waiting for results that are expected. Another type of leadership is servant leadership. Servant leaders prioritize the needs of their team members and focus on serving and empowering them to reach their full potential. So the servant leaders, they serve their staff and they give priority to them. They lead by example and cultivate a culture of empathy, collaboration, and trust. So they distribute and they encourage a culture of empathy among the team members. They encourage collaboration and trust among the teams. Another type of leadership is charismatic leadership. I believe you heard the word of charismatic or charisma. So charismatic leaders possess strong charisma and personality traits. So the characteristic and the leadership comes from what? Their personal traits, comes from themselves that inspire and influence others. They are often persuasive communicator and can rally people around a shared vision or goal. So they are persuasive, means that they can make people believe them, and they pursue people and they communicate very well. They are strong communicators and they share the vision or goals with their people around them. Another type of leadership is laissez-faire leadership. In this style, leaders provide minimal guidance or direction to their team members, allowing them to considerable freedom to make decisions and manage their own work. Meaning that in this style, the leaders give authority to the team members. They provide them very few guidance and direction and usually they don't clearly tell them what to do. They give them freedom to choose how to do things. And this style can foster independence and creativity, but also may lead to what? Lack of coordination or accountability. Why? Because leaders are not motivating the staff. So sometimes the staff gets demotivated and each one will do things independently. So it minimizes the coordination or accountability among the team members. Now we move to management theories. Management theories, we studied some of them briefly in the previous class. Now we will continue with some of them in detail. Management theories are frameworks or models that provide insights and guidance on how organizations can be managed effectively. These theories are developed through observation, research, and analysis of organization behavior, leadership, decision-making, and other aspects of management. They offer what? They offer principles, concepts, and practices that help managers understand, predict, and improve organizational performance. So each management theory has been created and made in order to make work done in a better way in organizations and improve the performance of organizations. Now we discuss the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Maslow's hierarchies of need, which belongs to the behavioral school. If you see here, there's a triangle. The base of triangle is the physiological needs. Physiological needs means sleeping, eating, and sex. Also, after that, so this is the first need of human. After we sleep well, we have a good health, we eat well, then we need safety. Then the second need comes, which is safety. Each person, each individual needs to feel safe in their life. They need a house, a ceiling above them, a safe place, a safe space to live in. After you receive your safety needs, you need social needs. So social needs is having family, having friends, having communities around you. After you fulfill your social needs, individuals seek for what? Seek for esteem needs, which is self-esteem and trusting yourself and building yourself step by step, such as going to school, getting a degree, learning new things. And why we do these things? In order to achieve the top of the pyramid, which is self-actualization. So when individuals have the other four needs fulfilled, they look for what? They look for self-actualization, which is achieving personal goals and becoming better and better in the society. Maslow's hierarchy of needs has been explained in points. The first one, physiological needs, food, drink, shelter, sex, and other physical requirements. Second one, safety needs, security and protection from physical and emotional harm, as well as assurance that physical needs will continue to be met. Then, social needs, affection, belongingness, acceptance, and friendship. This is among what? Among communities and societies. Then, esteem needs, internal esteem factors such as self-respect, autonomy, achievement, and external esteem factors such as status, recognition, and attention. And the last and the top need is self-actualization need, which is growth, achieving one's potential, and self-fulfillment, the drive to become what one is capable of becoming. Now we move to new classical theory of management, which is Douglas McGregor, 1967, which has theory X and Y. Theory X is the average person has an inherent dislike for work and will avoid if it's possible. So they are lazy workers. They want to avoid work. Because of dislike of work, people must be coerced, controlled, directed, and threatened with punishment to get them to work. So the average human being prefers to be directed, wishes to avoid responsibility, and has limited ambition and wants security above all else. So they just want to get things done, get paid, and go home. This is the opposite of theory Y. Theory Y is the use of physical and mental effort in work as a natural as play or rest. So individuals that belongs to theory of why they enjoy work and they believe that it's a natural task as how we want to play or rest. So people will exercise self-direction and self-control in the service of objectives to which they are committed. Commitment to objectives is a function of the rewards associated with achievement. So if we explain it in this diagram, we have theory X and theory Y. Theory X, avoid work. Theory Y, work is natural. People that are under theory X, they must be controlled, but people or employees under theory Y, they are self-directed. In theory X, individuals avoid responsibility, but in theory Y, they seek responsibility. In theory X, individuals seek security, but in theory Y, they are making good decisions and widely dispersed. So let's get to know what is organization as an open system. Organization as an open system, if you remember in the previous slides, we discussed that organization process, which is input, process, output, and then feedback. But as an open system, the way of describing it is much wider. So the picture is much wider. We are, as our organization, it's true that we input raw materials, human resources, capital, technology, and information, and then we transform it through a process which is employees' work activities, management activities, technology, and operation methods. Then from these activities and processes, we receive or we get what? We get output, which might be products and services, which might be financial results, information, or maybe human results. So through getting those results, we evaluate. So what we get from evaluation? Feedback. The feedback helps us to improve our inputs. But this whole process is in two kind of environment, which we studied in the previous slides, which are internal and external environment. The internal environment is the organization itself, which there might be weaknesses and strong points in all the processes. Weaknesses might change the process. Strength might help us do things better. And then we are all in the external environment, which are opportunities and threats. Opportunities might give us to do things better or give us chances to make new things, but threats are things that has a very big risk on our environment that we need to be ready to have flexible plans and alternative plans in order to adapt to dynamic external environments. Now we move to another philosophy of management, which is Kaizen. If you see, what is written is in Japanese, and it can be read as Kaizen. Kai means change, Zen means for the better. And it includes everybody, every day, everywhere. So it's a Japanese philosophy, believes in changing for better, every day, everywhere, and everybody should be part of it. The whole thing means what? Means continuous improvement. So Kaizen, a Japanese business philosophy on continuous improvement, working practices, personal efficiency, and so on. So everyone can adapt it everywhere, anytime. So Kaizen is a Japanese term meaning changing for the better or continuous improvement. The Sino-Japanese word for improvement is a concept of referring to business activities that continuously improve all functions and involve all employees from the CEO to the assembly line workers. And it has been applied in healthcare, psychotherapy, life coaching, government, banking, and so on. So it can be applied in any place, in any type of organization, in any level of the management, and all the time. The history of Kaizen was the foundation of Kaizen was laid in Japan after Second World War, when the country was attempting to rebuild factories and rethink many systems. So the concept of Kaizen began to be formed, and it took off in 1950s. Kaizen was first practiced in Japanese business after World War II, influenced by what? Influenced in part by the American business and quality management teachers, and most notably as part of the Toyota Way. So Japanese were influenced by what? By American businesses, and they developed the Kaizen philosophy after World War II. And who implemented in the best way? Toyota. So the concept of Kaizen encompasses a wide range of ideas. It involves making the work environment more efficient and effective by what? By creating a team atmosphere, by improving everyday procedures, by ensuring employee engagement, and making a job more fulfilling, less tiring, and safer. Who made Kaizen popular? In 1985, Masaki Imai found Kaizen Institute and promoted Kaizen worldwide. In 1986, Masaki Imai sat down to pen and groundbreaking a book. So he wrote a book under the name of what? Kaizen, the Key to Japan's Competitive Success. Through this book, the term of Kaizen was introduced to the Western world. Today, Kaizen is recognized worldwide as an important pillar of organizational long-term competitive strategy. Since introducing this term as a systematic approach for business improvement, companies that implement Kaizen have continually yielded superior results. So we see that those companies who implemented Kaizen strategies, they always achieved superior results and they always changed to the better. Now we move to another topic, which is code of conduct. Code of conduct meaning code of ethics and manners. So a code of conduct is a set of rules or guidelines that outline the expected behavior of individuals within a particular organization, community, or group. These rules typically govern interactions both within the organization and with the external parties, and are designed to promote ethical behaviors, respect, professionalism, and compliance with the applicable laws and regulations. So code of conduct tells us how to do things, how to behave, how to be professional, how to comply with the laws, rules, and regulations. Code of conduct tells us how to be responsible, how to coach, how to innovate, how to be ethical, how to trust, how to do teamwork, achieve goals, and respect customers. So a typical code of conduct may cover various areas, such as ethical behavior, that includes honesty, integrity, fairness, in all dealings, both internal and external, meaning within your organization and with the external parties. Then respect, treating all individuals with dignity, fairness, and respect, regardless of differences in background, beliefs, and opinions. Then we have another area, which is compliance, adhering to all relevant law, regulation, and organizational policies, and respecting them and committing to them, including those related to conflicts of interest, confidentiality, and intellectual property. Another point is professionalism, conducting oneself in a manner that upholds the reputation and standard of the organization, including appropriate dress, language, and demeanor. Another point is conflict of interest. Avoid situations where personal interest may conflict with the interest of the organization or its stakeholders. Also, confidentiality, respecting the privacy and confidentiality of sensitive information, including priority data, customer information, and personal matters, which they must be kept confidential. Accountability is another area that code of conduct will cover, such as taking responsibility for one's actions and decisions and addressing any mistakes or misconduct promptly and transparently. Another point is reporting, encouraging individuals to report any violations of the code of conduct, either through established channels within the organization or to relevant authorities. Now we move to business ethics. Business ethics refers to the principles and standards that guide the behavior of individuals and organizations in the business world. It involves the application of moral values and principles to business activities and decision-making processes. So the goal of business ethics is to promote integrity, fairness, responsibility, and transparency in all aspects of business operations. So business ethics can reflect in our behaviors, in our principles, trust, responsibilities, reflect in our relationship and reliabilities on each other. It reflects our choices and morality, and also it gives transparency in the organization. Business ethics and behavior. Businesses are responsible toward their employees. They are responsible toward their customers, stakeholders, and government, and also responsible to our society and environment. So businesses should be ethical toward their employees, customers, stakeholders, governments, societies, and environments. And we have business etiquette at the same time. After we have business ethics, then we need to learn about business etiquette, because it's very important to commit to etiquette and learn about business etiquette in official and formal organizations. So business etiquette refers to what? Refers to a set of rules, norms, and practices that govern appropriate behavior in professional settings. It encompasses the manners, customs, and protocols that individuals are expected to follow them, interacting with the colleagues, clients, customers, and other business associates. And at last, we have 16 office etiquette tips for better company culture, which are respectful communication, punctuality, professionalism, appearance, collaboration and teamwork, respect to diversity, office space and equipment, professional conduct, meeting etiquette, digital etiquette, recognition and appreciation of each other, conflict resolution, personal boundaries, email and communication etiquette, workplace wellness, continuous learning and development, and also social responsibility. Also, you need to learn some office etiquette rules, and I believe you have studied this in your previous course, which is called Communication and Etiquette. So when you go to the office, you need to know these rules and apply them. Be on time, don't get things too personal, respect your colleagues, keep your phone usage to a minimum, especially in meetings and when you're talking to your colleagues or customers. Dress appropriately, avoid gossiping, trade correspondence professionally, so you need to treat others professionally and share the credit. Meaning that when you succeed, tell that you as a team you have succeeded. And thank you for your time and listening. I hope you enjoy your class and have a good day.